Have you ever wondered if you're living your purpose in life, making an impact with actions, or even living at your full potential? No matter if you're a 9-to-5 employee or an entrepreneur, it's time to acknowledge your ideas, create a strategy, and implement with action. My name is Andy, and welcome to Approved AF Podcast.
Now I got black cards, good credit and such. Paid for it cause I'm all grown up.
Hey guys, welcome back to a new episode of Approved AF Podcast. I am your host, Andy, better known as Just Ask Andy. And today's topic is about late payments. Yep, I know we don't like to talk about it, but we need you to be approved AF, so we will have that conversation. I want to start off by explaining to you guys what could be the main problem. It could be your budget, it could be your spending habits, or you're just living a lifestyle that you should not be living because of your income. Your budget is important because you really need to understand the money that is coming into the household, what is being spent on the household, and what is really going out of the household, right? When it comes down to spending habits, some are living paycheck to paycheck. Some just know that they're going to get another paycheck, so they're just spending money. And then you have some that's just like, you know what, it is what it is. I will figure it out at the end of the day. That's not good. Or maybe it's one of those things that you took a paycheck cut, or you took a job that you felt like I can advance fast and it didn't happen. I want you to know that, look, you can't change the past. You can recognize what's going on currently, and you can build the future that you have. But we have to understand what's going on right now. So what I would like to break down right now is 5 credit factors. This pertains to your credit profile altogether. And understanding the credit factors, it may give you more of an understanding why your credit score goes up, down, when a late payment hits, or when you get new credit, why anything happened. Or when you get new credit, why your score go down as well. Well, the 5 credit factors starts off with 1, your payment history. This is when you pay your accounts on time or when you actually get late payments. Well, that's 35% of your credit profile by itself. The second category is the credit utilization. And that's usually how much of your credit have you used for as your balance versus your credit limit. That is 30% of your credit profile. The next factor I want you guys to think about is the length of history. And the length of history is basically when you open the account, how long you have been having the account. That is 15% of your credit profile. The next category is 10%, and it's from new credit accounts. That's kind of funny because it's like, golly, y'all gonna charge me? Y'all gonna basically mess with my score because I got a new account? Yep, it's 10%. The last category when it comes down to your credit factors is your credit mix, which is 10% as well. So if you add all 5 of those up, that's the payment history is 35%, credit utilization is 30%, the length of history is 15%, new credit accounts is 10%, and the credit mix is 10%. I know you're like, okay, Andy, wait a minute, hold on, this is too much, this is taking me too fast. I get it, but it is what it is. Someone asked me about a credit mix because they didn't understand the definition of a credit mix and why it was 10%. So I'm going to go a little bit in depth with that. So your credit mix is literally what's on the credit profile or the activity that's going on your credit reports that you should understand. Well, you have your real estate portion, which shows if you have a home in your name or some type of home loan, right? Whether they have a balance or it's paid off in full. The next part of a credit mix is a revolving account. And this usually pertains to your credit card payment. The next category is installment accounts. And with installment accounts, it's usually like your student loans. And here's a secret. Did you know your student loans actually help your credit score? Yup, I thought the same thing. You gotta be kidding me. But yes, that's usually how most Americans start out their credit profiles, is with student loans when you go to college. The next part is when you have personal loans. So when you go to like World Finance, payday loans, things like that, that's personal loans. The next thing is service credit. Now, this is the part that you may not know. They have a new credit scoring that's called Ultra Fico scoring, and that's if you report your utilities to your credit report. I know, my utilities, what? Yep. So if you report, like, let's say your light bill, let's say your gas bill, those bills by itself can't increase your credit score, believe it or not. Now, is it a big impact? No, not really, but it helps with the total amount of accounts that you should have in your credit profile. Now, I know you said, well, wait a minute. What is the total that I should have? Now, please understand, use your credit wisely. But if you want a good mix of credit and you want to make sure you have the right accounts in the right spots for the right time, you want to have anywhere from 15 to 21 accounts. Make sure they are all positive and don't have a bad impact on your credit profile. So now that we have that out the way, you fully understand what could impact your credit reports by itself. You also understand about your budget, spending habit, and your income. Let's go ahead and get into late payments overall, which is today's topic. Well, did you know if you had a 780 credit score versus a 680 credit score, if you're late on one credit card account, you can actually have 60 points take away from your credit score? Yeah, like one late payment will drop your score like crazy. Now, look, you can't be approved AF if you're letting these things happen. But here's the secret that they won't tell you. If you're 30 days late, you can call the credit company and say, hey, I made a mistake. I totally forgot. Can I make this payment so this will not impact my credit? But if you call on the 31st day or the 32nd day, please understand they have justification that you were late. And that 60 points hurt. The next thing I want to talk about is a mortgage. Let's say you have a mortgage loan and you're just trying to figure out like, man, I know I may be late. I don't have enough money. What am I going to do? I'm just going to have to take this 30-day late. Well, before you take that 30-day late, I advise you to go ahead and contact the company and just let them know what's going on. If you have been paying on time, you have never been late, you have been having great communication with your mortgage company, they may go ahead and take that payment and put it on the backside. Or they may take that payment and ask for it at the end of the year when you get ready to pay your taxes. Now, it just depends on the lender that you actually work with on which option you will have. The best advice is contact your mortgage company and let them know. But 75 points drop? No, we're not taking that. The next thing I want to tell you guys about is the 30, 60, 90-day lates. Now, those, they hurt so much because of the simple fact you're late. And not only that you're late, you're actually showing any company that you have an account open with that you may be having financial problems. And honestly, if you contact them early and let them know that you are having financial problems, they can make an arrangement for you. Prime example, nobody knew the pandemic was going to happen. Nobody know when they're going to lose their job just outright. Nobody know when they may have a medical condition come up where you can't work at all. So instead of just having a big impact of 30, 60, 90 days late and not communicating with the companies, you might want to just pick up the phone and say, hey, I'm going through this. What is the alternative of what I can do so I won't have these problems? Trust me, an account rather work with you if you have something versus you not having nothing at all. So communication is the key, as you guys can hear. The next thing I want to talk about is, your credit gurus may tell you this, your loan officers may tell you this, or hey, somebody that's in financial may give you this information. They may say, hey, a closed account doesn't hurt you. Once it's closed, yes, it's still on your credit report, but really it don't hurt you. Well, I advise you to just ask Andy, because yes, it does. It does hurt you because now you have a closed account that may have a 30, 60, 90-day late remark. And not only that, it could have a balance attached to it. So I know y'all like, okay, Andy, what do I need to do? First and foremost, you need to see how you can get this account deleted. But please understand, when you have it deleted, it will drop your credit score. And why would it drop your credit score, you may be thinking? Because now you lose the payment history, which is 35%. And you also lose the length of history, which is 15%. Well, do the math. 35 plus 15 is what? 50%. So yes, it is going to drop your score. And when it drops your score, you may be wondering, like, what am I going to do to get my score back up? Because I thought by paying this account and having removed that was enough to jump my score. Well, please understand, every negative account you have, one negative account, you need 2 positive accounts to offset that remark you just did. And when you get those new accounts, you remember, you got to look in the category that it's going to be a new account. But it's a positive account and you don't have those negative hiccups on your credit profile any longer. As well as now you're able to start over with new payment history and create a new length of history. So don't worry for the small drop. But please understand, when it goes back up, you don't have to worry about that negativity on your credit profile. With those late payments removed as well, here are 2 accounts that you can do to get your account back up. With that account being removed, here are 2 things that you can do to get your scores back up. You can, for one, apply for a secure credit card, or 2, become an authorized user on someone else's account that has the payment history and that actually have the length of history to boost your score back up. Now, I know that was a lot of information that I gave you, but this is how you can be approved AF, by understanding the impact of a late payment and kind of like what you should or should not be doing during that time. The next thing I want to talk about is a social media Q&A that we actually got questions in. Yep, we got questions. So the first question that we have is, does a closed account really impact my credit score? Yes, a closed account does impact your credit score. It affects your payment history, which is 35%, and the length of history, which is 15%. You want to try to offset those closed accounts with 2 positive accounts. Again, you want to try to get you 1 secure credit card and maybe add your name as an AU, or authorized user, on another card to offset that closed account. Our second question that we got from social media is, what if I have a credit card and I have not charged anything on it in a while? Will they close my card? What will happen? Having a credit card with no activity on it at all is not really good. The whole point of getting a credit card is for emergency purposes only. And, let's just be frank, we want to grow our credit scores. So the best advice to you, I would tell you, is charge the card every 6 months to 1 year so you can show some type of payment history, keep the length of history, and show that it is still positive on your credit card. I hope I answered those questions to you guys' liking. If you want, you can send us an email at approveafpodcast@gmail.com. The second part of the segment I'm going to tell you guys about is who tried it. Yep, it's Thursday. We're going to talk about who tried it from Twitter. We noticed that Chase Bank now is giving out home loans, but you have to have a 700 credit score. What? What? Ain't nobody got time for that. Chase is out here really telling you now almost have to have excellent credit before they will loan you out money. Now, can we be mad about that? No, because of the simple fact they're trying to make sure no one is going to default on any loans that they put out. But on the back end of it, we need to make sure our credit is good with no late payments so we don't have to worry about Chase giving us an approval. Here's a fun fact. It's kind of corny, but check it out. Did you know we've been in a digital world? Like in the 1940s, the first computer was actually invented. Like what? I thought AOL and dial-up was like the oldest of the oldest. But it's not. We actually had a computer back in 1940s. Crazy. The closing statement for today is, it's better to be ready than trying to get ready. We've been knowing that late payments impact our credit a lot, but we may not know exactly how many credit points we will actually lose. Again, here are my 3 things I think we should make sure we have in order. Make sure you have an active budget plan in place. Make sure you control your own spending habits. And make sure you increase the income if possible. Rule of thumb: decrease the expenses, and increase the income. I'm not going to say it's going to be easy, but just try. This is another episode of Approved AF Podcast. Again, I am your host, Andy. Thank you guys for listening. I'll catch you guys on the next episode. Just a reminder, thank you for listening to Approved AF Podcast. Make sure you like, subscribe, and leave a 5-star review. If you by chance have a Twitter account, make sure you follow us at Approved AF. On Thursdays, you could be featured on Who Tried It episodes if you hashtag Who Tried It with your explanation. Again, thanks for listening to Approved AF Podcast. Make sure you click the link under this segment so you can get the latest updates, challenges, and even events that we're hosting. Also, remember, we have options that equal opportunities. So when the opportunity comes, we have options. Stay approved AF.